Hello, this is Umber Assassin, and it's my pleasure to bring you the review of Naruto Storm 3. The first and the most obvious thing that I want to talk about is the game's look, or the visuals. And while does this game hit the spot with the animated slash cel shading kind of look, and even though the visuals haven't improved that much from the first Storm game that was on the PS3, I still think this is the best looking anime based fighting game. Now, sure, it has some flaws like the generic free world look, like all those pretty much pasted background pictures, but it sure as hell makes up for it by the over the top, awesome looking boss battles. So, when it comes down to rating this game from 1 to 10, of how good it actually copies or mimics the look of the anime or manga that it's based on, this game definitely deserves a 10, and I'm extremely excited as well to see what the next generation of consoles is going to bring to the table when it comes to Naruto and all the other anime based games. Now, before we hit the big goldmine of Storm 3, aka the gameplay, I just quickly want to cover the story part. Now, Storm 3 starts off where Storm 2 left off, as far as I remember. Naruto defeated Pain, and Danzo now is the new Hokage. Now, the story goes all the way to the Fourth Great Ninja War and then some. Now, me personally, I am a huge fan of the series, but I stopped watching the anime after the Pain Saga, but I still continue to read the manga, now, which helped me a lot when it comes to following the story on screen, which is, I must add, done incredibly well. Now that the only thing I can see being a huge problem for someone who hasn't played, watched, or even read Naruto before is actually the story. You will be lost. And I'm not saying that you're an idiot or something, offensive as that. I'm just saying that it's almost impossible. Now, even though the dialogue between the characters is done well and it closely follows the original source, but oh boy, trust me, when there's a 7-minute cutscene of just dialogue, and trust me, it happens a lot of times, I just know that a lot of players will just skip over it to actually go to the fighting part. Which is fine, but for a game that's done with so much love and commitment to its source, it would be a big shame for you to skip the non-action cutscenes, because trust me, they're beautifully done, and many times they will almost bring a tear to your eye. Now, before you embark on the journey that is Storm 3 or any of the other Naruto games, I highly recommend looking at the original material first. Other than that, the story deserves a perfect 10 out of 10. Now finally, we hit the big thing in Storm 3, the gameplay. Now the first thing I would like to talk about is definitely the fighting, which is again pretty much the same, simple, but again it has that depth to it. Now this is definitely not a button masher, and it's also not attack, wait, counter type of game. This is much more than that, and it doesn't matter if you're playing this game with a pro online or do you just like if you have a friend that's like a noob at it at home. No matter how you put it, this is definitely a strategic fighting game. Now, for those of you who never played it before, don't get scared or repulsed by the word strategic, as honestly, it's incredibly simple to adapt to, and yet it's even more incredibly fun. At your disposal, you will have items to use, special attacks, close combat attacks, range attacks, throws, backup attacks. They are pretty much your support characters. You can call them in to attack or even block for you. Then you will also have the awakenings that give you the enormous amount of power, and sometimes they also change the way your character looks and also the way he attacks, which is really cool. So again, don't get distracted by the word strategic, as it is at its base still a fighting game, and again, it is incredibly fun. Now, another thing I would like to talk about is the new thing in the game, which is incredibly cool, and that is the choice. Now, a lot of new games give you 2 or more options or choices, and usually your actions somehow change the rest of the story or the gameplay. Now, that's the thing with the new Storm game. For the first time, you get a choice. Now, you can pick Legendary or the Hero choice. Now, these choices are done really well. For example, you can choose to play a flashback fight from Storm 2, or you can go all the way back to Storm 1 and fight as Naruto against Sasuke. Now that's one, just to name a few. Then you can subdue, for example, the Ninetales all by yourself for more experience points, and it is a lot harder, and the experience points, just so you know, are used to expand the inventory. Or the other choice would be to tag team with Killer B for a bit of an easier task, and whichever you pick, trust me, you cannot go wrong as they're both epically well done. One more thing that Storm 3 brings to the table is freaking free fighting mode. Now yes, you actually go and fight more enemies at once. Now, finally they kinda listen to the fans, but unfortunately you don't get to do it that often in the game, which is a huge shame because it's done incredibly well and it's so fun. And honestly, it has a soul of its own, and I would definitely like to see more of it in the next Storm game. Now we finally get to the big thing of Storm 3, and it's my personal favorite, the boss battles. And I'm sorry for my language, but holy crap do they look amazing. I was honestly left speechless at every single one of them. They're just incredible. They're bigger, they're badder, they're more epic than they ever were before. They're also accompanied by a series of quick time events as usual, and then you have to utilize them at the right time to get stars. For those of you who played Storm games before, you will know that the stars unlock a certain flashback at the end of the boss battle. And trust me, you'll be going back to actually do them if you miss them, because they are so much fun and they're definitely the highlight of the game. Now, two last things I would like to talk about are actually complaints. Now, they're minor complaints, and obviously it's just my honest opinion, but the first one would be definitely the game. The actual game, even though amazing, it doesn't have that fresh new kind of game feel to it. If you actually place 3 Storm games right next to each other, Storm 1, Storm 2, and Storm 3, without Generations, unfortunately I haven't played Generations, but if you actually place 3 of them, between the first one and the second one, you will see a huge leap. You'll see a huge difference. You will know after playing the first one, and when you're playing the second one, you will know it's a totally different game. It doesn't have that feeling in Storm 3. Sure, it has new characters, it has new epic boss battles, and the story progresses, which is honestly reason enough to buy the game, but it just doesn't have that new feeling to it, and I'm hoping that the new game will. The second thing would be the one thing that's keeping still this game from reaching its epic status, and that's the free roam, or actually the lack of. Now sure, you get to walk around and stuff, but it's never quite free. The camera is fixed, and every time you have these stupid few seconds of loading as you're walking from one area to another, and it's, well, just annoying and kinda unnecessary. Now, I know it would be a lot to ask for to have free roaming included in the game, but the first one had it. Why can't this one too? And I know a lot of people complained about it when Storm 2 came out, expecting to be, to have the free roam system of Storm 1. I kinda also understand that it isn't a PS3 exclusive anymore, and it's also for the Xbox now. But I'm pretty sure the Xbox can't take it. I mean, the couple of Naruto games that the Xbox had, the combat wasn't as good. Also, the visual weren't quite good as well. But the freaking free roam was amazing. I mean, if you played it, if you remember it, you have to admit it was really well done. It was so fun running through the village and the forest, collecting every single gold coin. It was incredible. So please, for the next Storm game, give it what it deserves: a decent free roam system. Okay guys, so that was it for me. At the end, I highly recommend this game to any player that wants to try something new other than an overused first-person shooter game, or for someone who just wants a fighting game, or to anyone who has a passion for anime or a nice storyline. Now, of course, to the fans of the series, I'm pretty sure a lot of you already have it or are gonna buy it. As for me, this is a true masterpiece and definitely the best Storm game out there. It's still missing, like I said, that one thing to reach the epic status with anime games, but I'm sure we can expect a lot of great changes in the future. Thank you for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment if you find this video helpful, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!